That list is long.
I would like to segue this into something that I feel has a lot to do with Zen and the art of watching wrestling,
Hit me.
which I thought was a clever kind of title at the time. But on the very first
I agree.
episode of this show, we had talked about how, like, watching wrestling with a focus of trying to pick out, like, what are the good things? What is it about Seth Rollins' character that everybody likes that I don't, for whatever reason? Trying to find that
Trying
so
to
that you end up
find that understanding, reach
yeah.
across that aisle. Yeah.
But the same thing I do with, like, Star Wars stuff. Anything to do, like, sometimes fans really do not like Star Wars, like a Star Wars content they think is bad or whatever. I like to watch whatever this Attack of the Clones may be and say to myself, all right, I know some people don't think this is good, but the people who made it obviously think it's good. This is a finished product. They watched it and went, yeah, this is what I'm sending out to the world. So why did they think it was great? Well, it turns out Bryan Danielson has a very similar attitude to all things. All things, yes. Well, this is helpful for life as well.
Okay.
As watching wrestling. One might be more important and time consuming than the other. I don't know.
Watching wrestling. Yeah.
So unfortunately, I had to listen to Nikki and Brie Bella's podcast to hear Bryan Danielson say
for
this.
work.
For work. So basically what Danielson said was he was asked about having to miss the Wembley Stadium show because he has a broken arm. He broke his arm in his match against Kazuchika Okada at Forbidden Door, which was awesome to see live. But so he's talking with Brie Bella on her podcast about how he appreciates that match because he wrestled 10 minutes of it with a broken arm. And broken arms hurt, but he went and did it anyway. And so he said that led him to appreciate it more because he's trying to learn to take pleasure in things that are difficult or uncomfortable. So here is what he said to Brie Bella. I did a press conference afterward with my broken arm, and we didn't know how bad it was at the time. But I do this a lot when fasting. When you put yourself in an uncomfortable position where you do something and it's uncomfortable, which is most uncomfortable things, and you keep doing it. So you keep doing it, but the thing is not like, okay, yeah, I did it. It's, can you keep a positive attitude while you're doing it? So while you're wrestling with a broken arm, can you still say, I'm having fun right now. This is a good time. I'm wrestling Okada. This is great. Yeah, my arm's all messed up, but I'm still going to enjoy this experience. Same thing he said, like when fasting, like if I'm trying to go like 12 hours without eating food, which I don't recommend, can I have a positive attitude while I'm hungry? And I thought this is a perfect attitude for Zen and the art of watching wrestling, because sometimes watching wrestling is uncomfortable, but you have to tell yourself, I'm going to have the best attitude possible while watching 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, and then I will appreciate it as best as I can possibly appreciate it. So I thought that was, Danielson's a very interesting guy. He talked about keeping a gratitude journal, like every night he just writes things that he's thankful for. And I think that's such an, it's great, but you don't think of a professional wrestler as someone having this kind of perspective, right? Like,
no, a dream journal isn't really what they had next to their bedside tables in the 80s. It was more like mountains of Coke.
Yeah. Like ravishing Rick Rude was not sitting down going, today I was grateful because it was lovely weather and I could go for a walk in nature. He was doing cocaine and dying early. So I just thought that was a very cool kind of thing that he expressed that he likes to do there.
Yeah.
So hooray for Bryan Danielson.
He is a very zen guy, I believe.
He is a very zen guy. Yeah.
I think his wooden burlap championship belt is the greatest belt of all time. And even if it is just a giant logo, it was the best custom belt ever.
So I worked in like environmental nonprofits for like 12 years. And the crossover between like environmental people and wrestling fans, very small. But it's not zero. There are so when these people find each other, you know what they say immediately? So you're a big fan of Bryan Danielson's sustainable WWE championship? Oh my God, I love that. I texted everybody I know that's both an environmental person and a wrestling fan. So you texted 2 people? Yes! 2 people!
We have a group chat, yes.